A pretty radical building in Sierra Leone. And this is so much more than just a structure of laterite and zinc. Seriously, it's a living philosophy. It's an argument made of sweat and devotion. It's a house that actually thinks. This is the story of the kenema mansion. First things first, let's just ground ourselves in a number. 3,400. That's the physical scale we're talking about here. 3,400 square feet. It's a pretty substantial space. But believe me, it's what happens inside these dimensions that totally redefines the whole idea of a home.
And what's really crucial is that every single one of those square feet was raised entirely by hand. No contractors, no heavy machinery, nothing like that. This is a structure that was literally born from, a manual covenant, local wisdom about materials, and just pure familial devotion. It's built right in the equatorial crucible of the Kenema district, not just with stuff, but with human intention.
And that, right there, brings us to the huge question at the center of this entire project. I mean, forget about blueprints. Forget about finished products. Just ask yourself, what if a house could write its own story? What if it could learn and adapt and evolve right along with the people and the environment around it?
So, this idea of a house writing its own story, well, it takes us from the static world of blueprints to this living, breathing concept of a palimpsest. This mansion is designed to be a house that is perpetually rewriting itself, and in doing so, it challenges the very foundation of what we think architecture is.
Let's just contrast the two approaches so you can see what I mean. On one side, you've got conventional architecture, what they call architectural determinism. The design is fixed, the blueprint is law, and it's all imposed from the top down. But the kenema mansion, it operates on a totally different principle, iterative inscription logic. It's all about living feedback, a design that is constantly updating itself from the bottom up. And this gets us to the core concept, the living palimpsest. So a palimpsest is an old document that's been written on over and over again, but you can still see traces of the old layers underneath. Well, here, the house itself is the document. It's constantly being rewritten by how people live in it, by the humidity in the air, even by AI correction. And all these inputs merge, so the house becomes this single, self-updating being. So how does this actually work? Well, it's a continuous feedback loop. It all starts with human perception, how the space feels, how it's being used. Then you've got environmental signals, the sun, the rain, all of it. That information gets fed into an AI for analysis. And then the final step, this is the most profound part, an ontology self-update. This literally means the fundamental design and the whole purpose of the house can actually change based on what it learns. Wild, right? But look, this project isn't just some high-tech experiment. It's also deeply, deeply spiritual. And this brings us to a whole new kind of theology that's embedded in the mansion itself, a place where the act of construction is a sacred rite, and labor becomes liturgy. This one idea is really the heart of the mansion's entire philosophy. To build is to worship. The physical act is a prayer. To repair is to repent. So maintenance isn't some chore, it's an act of correction and humility. And to inhabit is to sustain revelation. Just living within the walls is a continuous spiritual experience. Now, this idea actually has a name, kenema prolithiosis. I know it's a dense term, but it's so powerful. Kenema roots it right in the specific materials of kenema. Prolithiosis combines proletariat, the working class, with apotheosis, which is the act of becoming divine. It's the belief that manual work itself can be a path to the sacred. And this creates a totally new kind of economy for the community. Labor is the ceremony. Hands replace industrial machines. And this is huge. Intention replaces funding. The collective will and devotion of the community is the resource that builds the house, not money. And endurance replaces surveillance. Just being there, the shared commitment is what creates order, not some top-down monitoring. So here's the crucial point. In the mansion, there is absolutely no separation between the physical and the spiritual. Every brick, every single beam is simultaneously a piece of data for the house's learning system and an expression of devotional faith. This principle is called kinetic actualism.
Now you have to understand, this house isn't just some one-off art project. Not at all. It's the first real-world test of a much, much larger philosophical framework. It's a tangible blueprint for a different kind of future, and it's powered by an idea called the delta T-square framework.
So, delta T squared, or delta D2, it's a framework for actively building a new kind of society in a post-colonial world. It's not just some theory on a page. It weaves together architecture, theology, and technology to create new ways of living together, like right now. The mansion isn't just in kenema, it is the lived laboratory of kenema, where these ideas are being tested in the real world.
And what's the ultimate goal? To create a tangible prototype for an Afro-optimist future. We're talking about building progress without extraction and development without dependency. It's a radical vision of hope made totally concrete.
This table really shows you how those big ideas translate into actual architecture. Ultra, which means vertical faith, is embodied by the 14-foot wall. Its height signifies this reach towards the heavens, protecting the sacred covenant inside. Extra, or social extension, creates these shared kinesthetic commons, spaces literally designed for movement and interaction. Meta is that intuitive design that just seems to breathe with the environment. And intra is the familial intimacy created by the natural circulation of air and people inside. It all connects.
So, at the end of the day, what is the Kenemagorian Mansion, really? Well, it's not a building in any traditional sense. It's the anti-monument. It's not a statement frozen in time, but a living, breathing equation that is always being solved.
Think about it. A monument is static. It's cold. It's a memorial to something that's over. This is the exact opposite. It is living, breathing the local humidity. It is sweating in the equatorial heat. It is constantly evolving with every single person who lives in it and every drop of rain that hits its zinc roof.
The mansion teaches us that a building doesn't have to be some finished statement. It can be an open equation, forever open to change. It's not a memorial to the past, but a living demonstration of what is possible right now. And maybe most powerfully, it proves that hope isn't just some abstract feeling. Hope can be infrastructural. You can literally build it, brick by brick.
And that leads to the final, absolutely stunning takeaway from this project. The future that we're all waiting for, it isn't somewhere off in the distance. It already exists, in places like this. Deterritorialized, which means it's not bound by old definitions of nation or place. Relational, because it's built on human connection. And utterly alive.
So I'll leave you with this question. The Kenemagorian Mansion proves that a building can be a living argument, a dynamic philosophy. And if that's true, what other parts of our world, our institutions, our communities, even our own ideas, are just sitting there, waiting to be rewritten?